Hi, this is Abhimanyu, and I'm in conversation with Sonali Bendre. I'll avoid the word comeback because she has always been around, but she will be soon seen in Broken News. Hi, Sonali, how are you?
Thank you for that.
So, Sonali, first of all, why Broken News and why Amina? That I want to know.
There are a couple of things to it. Amina Qureshi is a voice that is strong, and I really wanted to play a character which had strong voice. I wanted a character which was my age.
Right.
I wanted to play my age, and without it being sad, I think I'm looking the best I have ever looked. If I say that,
I agree.
Because, thank you. But I'll tell you why. Because I do think, and especially after what I have been through, I see beauty in the imperfection, and I feel that the lines that I have on my face, I've earned them, and I think they tell a story, and I find that so beautiful. So not just on my face, but when I see faces that have lines, I find them and I've always found them more attractive because I think they tell stories. And otherwise, it's like a blank canvas, which doesn't excite me. So for me, I've always found lived-in faces much more interesting. So for me, that was very important. Me playing my age, having a character which had a strong voice. I wanted a story which was relevant, and I wanted hope. I definitely wanted to. I think storytelling is about hope. I believe in that because I read stories to find hope.
You know, you make a very important point because OTT, this medium, is a lot about dark and gloomy stories these days.
Yes, I don't watch them.
Clearly, since you're all about hope. So was that what drew you to Broken News? Because despite this being a very hard-hitting show, if I may say so, it is about hope, it is about
that combination
positivity.
Is what that I find very interesting, because I don't mean to say that everything has to be just frothy and flossy and fun. No, of course that is important. But I do feel that while saying something which is relevant, which has certain gravitas to it, while saying that, I'm a complete believer in humanity, and I have immense faith in humanity. And a lot of people can say, oh, it's positive thinking and all of that, but I don't think it's positive thinking only. I genuinely feel, especially after the experience that I went through, the kind of reactions that I've got, I always feel, and not just from people who've known me. I was in a country where there were a lot of people who didn't know me, and be it at the cash counter, be it somebody who sees my bald head, understands what I'm going through, and just kind of says that, where are you from? And if they know that I'm away from the country, they don't know who I am or what it is. Oh, my mother has come in, from Mexico, and can I send you some soup because it's a grocery store which you keep going to. So what I'm trying to say is that's just a common person who has no idea about who I am or whatever it is. What did she see? She just saw somebody who was suffering, and her instinct was to offer help. And I found that time and time again. And that's why I say I have immense faith in humanity, because I think as human beings, our first instinct is to love. We are taught to hate. And that is why stories that we tell and how we tell and hope for me is very important because of that.
You mentioned that this is a relevant story. It's almost a realistic story because it is about the times we live in. And Amina is a very realistic, relatable character. Did you consciously or subconsciously base her on people you see around you, particularly journalists, or was it a blank slate and you brought forth something?
So, I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to say it.
Okay.
The thing is that, Goldi's first film was about media. Nobody really kind of understood it, or I'm not saying it because, it didn't work or something like that. And it's okay, that happens. That's what storytelling is about. You just keep moving on and doing different things. But what I'm trying to say is that stories on this topic have come, but have not fallen into place so correctly. And maybe that was not the time. Maybe the audience was not ready. I don't know what it was, but it just felt like this needed to be told now. And I think after being part of so many stories, after not doing stories or not doing fiction for a while, I've still been in part of an industry where stories are always being talked about, discussed, nurtured. So this just felt like it needed to be done now. And your second part of your question was about Amina's character.
Right.
And for me, yes, you will find glimpses of people in it probably, but I don't think it's because I have consciously looked at somebody and done it. So it was the way, I don't know if it might be a little boring if I tell you, but I would say that if do you want to know the process?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So for me, Amina's character was a thought process.
Right.
It was a way of thinking. And for her to be thinking in that way, she had to have gone through a certain journey. So for me, I started from there, that this was Amina Qureshi, this is her thinking. And then I went back. I went back all the way down to her birth.
Right.
So I formed that character down till there. And so for me, Amina is so unique and so personal. It's like I've given birth to her.
Right.
And definitely there will be others, and because there will be others who identify with this thought process or who have lived this thought process. You will be able to mark those things out because it's a thought process and it's not it's not
isolated or something.
Isolated to one person.
It's universal. Everyone experiences that.
Or there is a certain group of people who think like that.
If not everyone, then of course there are people.
There are certain people who would think like that, certain who will not think like that. There are different thought processes.
I'm pretty sure 100 people have asked you about your comeback, and I'm avoiding that word because to me you have always been in public domain, but you're returning to fiction after a long time and in a different medium because OTT offers you 8 episodes, 40 minutes. It's almost like making 2 movies or 3 movies back to back. As an artist, what does that offer you which cinema did not?
That offers me much more layering for the character. And it's so much more fun to do it because it just gives me more opportunity to play with the character. So that's great, and especially when the story is like Broken News where there are so many layers to it and there are, to explain black and white, you can do it maybe in 2 hours. But when things are flawed, when they're grey, you want the layers, you want the time to be able to tell that and to be able to justify all of them. So that is what would have happened where OTT platform is concerned. Where you're saying about me doing fiction after a long time. I'll try and give it to you in as short and a quick way as I can. Look, I'm an accidental actor. I came into the industry not wanting to act, but because, I was getting a chance and I kept getting the offers and I thought it was the best way to get that paycheck.
Right.
And I worked for that paycheck. It was what I needed, my family needed it, and I did it. And it was a profession, it was a job, and that's how it was. And, I went on with it. Then I came to a point in the career where, it was not that burning necessity of a paycheck. Then you start exploring and start looking at various things which, if you look at it from the pay point of view, might not be the best thing. For example, Anahat with Amol
right.
or Zakham with Bhatsa. But, you come to a certain point, or for that matter, when I did theatre, it was not the thing. Then it is more like, how do I evolve? How can I do different? It's stimulating me mentally, etc., etc. But what happens is that the image that you really like, thank God you have that image because of which you could get that paycheck and you could become what you were, now becomes the trap. And, there is no getting out of that. So it was in that period when I was doing my Telugu films and my Tamil films, and I did some great roles in all these other industries. So at that point of time, and then got married and had a child, and I said, I need to take a break because I wanted to be a parent at that time. Reality television came closest to working in an office where I could balance my home life and my working life. But I was not playing a character. I was being myself. It has its own charm. I really enjoy it, but it's different. I did try getting back to fiction. I did a TV series which was supposed to be different, and it started off like that. But after that, audience was not ready for it. All the audience surveys wanted more conventional storyline, and they were forced to make it more conventional. I mean, lesson learned. I had a commitment, I finished the commitment, but after that, I took a step back. And I said, why do they want to see me in certain kind of roles only? Which means coming back to
Yeah.
the image situation, which means that what I want to do and what audience perceives me, or the work that comes to me, there's a huge gap in
Right,
it.
right.
And I didn't know how to kind of bridge that gap.
Right.
I came to a point where I thought that maybe I need to write something for myself. I don't know what to do. And then there was the illness, then there
Yeah.
was COVID, so it just took longer. But all that I did through it all was during the illness, when you kind of say that, okay, I'm getting a second chance, what is it that I would like to do? It became even more crystal clear as to what is
Right,
it that I would
right.
like to do. So as I'm recovering, I kept listening to a lot of scripts. And there were some really lovely stories that came to me, really lovely people who came to me, very talented people. But that was not what I felt like doing,
Yeah.
because it was important that I do something that I've not done before.
Exactly.
Otherwise, I would be in the same
image cycle. Yeah.
again, and I needed to break that cycle. Hence, when Broken News came to me, I felt it was the ideal thing to do,
Yeah.
and it really resonated with me, so I wanted to do it.
I would wrap up with the final couple of questions here, and one is very important, that I think we are living in the golden age in terms of actresses in their 40s. And I saw it with Madhuri returning, with you. Juhi ma'am is coming with the show. Sushmita has done great work. Ravina has done Aranyak. And 20 years ago, women in their 40s would not get strong lead roles so often and so regularly. Do you think
It's still not often
it's
enough.
not
It's
often
just about
enough?
starting.
I think relatively it's more often, but it's just about starting. So do you feel lucky, or do you feel that it's about time?
About time.
Yeah.
High time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, that when you said that,
Often.
I just think it is just about starting. It's not even, and I mean, there should be so much more, because I feel that just when, as an artist, you live a certain amount of life,
Right.
you go through certain experiences which shape you, and which kind of tarashna jisko bolte
Right,
hain,
right, right.
and that's what makes you the artist. And just when you're getting there is when it's kind of so it's lovely to get this opportunity to be able to use the things that
Right.
have.
By the time you're actually maturing as an artist, people are closing doors on you, which is
Yeah.
very unfair.
Which is very
and
sad.
let's call a spade a spade. It doesn't happen to the male actors.
It doesn't
It
happen.
doesn't happen. There was a line in a show कि hero कबर में पाँव लटकाए बैठा है, but heroine 20 साल की चाहिए, which is how it has been for a long time.
Yes, it has been.
Coming to the final question, when the illness hit you and when you were recovering, was there ever a point when you were hesitant about returning, or when you felt it would be impossible to acting in front of the camera?
Well, at that point of time, I don't think I was thinking about acting in front of the camera, because quite honestly, it was literally like I just needed to survive and be alive.
Yeah.
So it's when I was sure that yes, I'm making it and I'm alive, and then the only thought was healing, because this is one disease that the treatment of the disease is worse than the disease itself.
Yep.
It kills you from inside.
Yep, I know.
And like my doctor said, we are carpet bombing your body.
Yeah.
And that it's literally like a nuclear attack on your
Yeah.
body. And so everything has to be rebuilt, which takes time. So that has been the focus after that. And then as I kept healing and getting better, then you started looking at more and more things. Then it was doing one thing, doing just a little bit here, a little bit there, feeling stronger, going back to the brands that have been working
Right.
with me, doing little work for them, feeling better, and then having the guts to kind of take on the Broken News. When I finished shooting for it, I said, I took on the reality show, which then I was
Right.
confident of doing. So I think it's been
Gradual.
like what I say, the hashtag that I have, one day at a time.
Yeah.
This has been one step at a time.
It's been wonderful, and it's been a wonderful step. It's been wonderful talking to you. It's been wonderful watching you on screen. I was lucky enough to watch it.
Ooh,
And
I want to know more.
Yes, we will once I finish it. So thank you for speaking to us, Sonali, and
Pleasure.
all the best for the show. And hopefully we'll see you more again in the future, more regularly, like you just said,
I hope
more
so.
often than we
I
have
hope
been.
so. Depends on the roles I get.
I wish you the best of roles and the
Thank
best
you.
of shows.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for the time, Sonali.
Thank you. Thank you so much.